I just had this thing, I was like, I really want to connect mums together. I want mums to have other mum friends. I want other people to have that same experience that I did when I was going through that first time with my son.
Welcome to PWRMUMS Podcast. We're joined by Tash Cullen. She's the founder of PWRMUMS. Welcome, Tash.
Thank
you for joining us.
Thanks.
Do you mind introducing yourself and introducing PWRMUMS?
Of course. Hi, I'm Tash and I'm the founder of PWRMUMS, and I created PWRMUMS in 2017 in Singapore. I'm a mum of 2 boys and also 2 dogs as well. And yeah, I've been here since 2017.
Awesome. And so why did you start PWRMUMS? Big question.
That is a big question. So when I arrived in Singapore, my youngest one was 2 months old, and I was going to lots of baby groups with him and kind of kids classes, and having moved from the UK with my eldest one, who I had in the UK, we basically met every one of our friends from antenatal classes. Yeah. So when I arrived in Singapore, I was kind of asking a lot of mums, where did you meet your friends? And most of them were saying, oh, we just kind of hang out in baby classes together, even though they had done antenatal classes. So I kind of started asking around, and then really wanted to set up the classes so that basically we start connecting mums from when they're pregnant, and then they go through that journey together, and then they also then have their babies, and they all have them in the same time frame. So basically you're paying for mum friends. Yeah. Essentially.
PWRMUMS, pay for your mum friends.
Exactly. That's what it's known as in the UK as well. Like you
really?
pay, even I did like antenatal classes as a midwife, because you just know that you're going to meet other mums at the same time in your journey as you, and also living in the same area as well. So, yeah.
Cool. And was there a time when you thought, oh, this business has to work?
When I arrived, so I grew up in Singapore, so I knew it was a very small country, and I know that being expats, most of us are from away from home, and so you don't have families, you don't really have friends necessarily if you've just moved here. So there was a point where I was on maternity leave with my youngest one, and I just said to my husband, like, I'm going to try and set up this business. I'll give myself a year, and I'll see where it's doing in a year. If it's not working, I'll go and get a proper job. But otherwise, I'm going to just carry this on, because I just felt like it was really going to work in Singapore. And it did. Hopefully.
And it did, yeah. And was there a time after you launched that you realised this is going to flourish? This is going to, so not that it's just going to tick over and I don't have to get a real job, but this is husband happy. Yeah. This is like husband happy. Was there a time when you were like, this is going to be something, this is going to grow and develop and be very fruitful? Yeah,
there definitely was a point. I remember sort of when we first started just thinking, if I could get 5 couples in a class, I will be over the moon. I just want 5 couples. That's a nice connecting number and enough for me to run the classes. And then about a year in, I remember thinking, oh, it's slowly taking up, but it's not really getting anywhere, and we were kind of staying the same. And I was still thinking, oh, should I go and get a job, or should I just really push through? And it was actually my husband who was just like, no, it's working. People are starting to listen and know about the company, so just carry on. And so I think it was probably about a year and a half, so it was probably January last year in 2019, when we started to book out 2 classes a month. And I thought, oh, okay, actually there are more pregnant people than I thought, and they're now starting to hear about us. And then as of this year, since COVID, we're now booking out 3, this month we've got 4 classes. So it was somewhere last
year. Because of COVID?
Why, yeah, I'm hoping. January babies, I've got you. I think it was probably January last year where I thought, okay, this is definitely something which is going to keep on going now.
Yeah. So it took a bit of time, and I guess from what you're saying, you were happy initially with 5 people, but then as time went on, you forgot about that. Yeah. So it was your husband that reminded you, this is why you set out, this is what you wanted.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was him. He just kept on me going and was like, no, just keep going, don't give it up. And he was really, really supportive.
We have these recurring themes in our podcast. So one of them that you just mentioned was that you'd be happy with 5 people.
Oh yeah?
So Ness, who just did our podcast, when she started Momentum Bootcamp, she was happy just to train 2 people. And she did a great job. She was super happy. And then it exploded.
Yeah.
So same as you. You're happy with your 5 couples, and then
you want more.
And then you want more. And there's always going to be pregnant people in Singapore.
And especially since COVID.
Yeah. And so when you started, it was simply prenatal classes.
Yes.
So, and what did that look like?
So initially it looked like it was just me, a one-man band, and it was very much the same format as now. So in terms of the 4-week prenatal class, and then we always had the ladies' lunch at the end of the classes, and kind of, it was basically very similar to what it is now, and we've kind of just expanded on that, and we've changed obviously some of the content. We've added in the date night now so that the dads, that was one thing we really noticed, was that the dads started to get more and more involved. They wanted to do more, they wanted to connect more with other dads, so we started up doing date nights halfway through the course where both like the couple come together, and so the dads then get to meet each other, and we do dads drinks at the end so they get to meet each other as well. So it's kind of just evolved in that way, but the core class is still very much the same.
It's the same, but now you just got dad friends.
Now I've got dad friends.
That's awesome. And it's very, very well set up. So I took this prenatal class, and it's very well set up for dads, I would say. In that you offer beverages.
We do.
Of the tasty kind.
Again, thanks to my husband.
Is that his idea?
Yeah, it was his. I said to him, I was like, if you could do the antenatal classes all over again, what was the one thing that you would have actually wanted there? Because I just dragged him along to meet other friends. And he was like, oh, if they just give me a beer. I was like, okay, done. We'll have beer.
Well, I can tell you from my husband, it went down very well.
And he was entertained.
And you're not now, also we had pizza, so that went down very well.
Yeah, pizza too,
And you're very heavily pregnant, and it's evening time. There, and you're hungry. And you get hangry, so pizza's really great. And you're not a one-woman band anymore.
No, we are not.
So you have grown. You've grown not only in the services that you offer, but you've grown in your team as well.
Yes.
So do you mind sharing what services you now offer?
Gosh, okay, if I can remember from the top of my head. So we have our prenatal classes, we have prenatal exercise, prenatal yoga, and what else do we have pregnancy-wise? That's it, probably pregnancy. And now we also have postnatal courses, we have postnatal exercise, we have first aid classes for parents and for helpers. We have playgroups pre-COVID and coffee mornings pre-COVID. We have, what else do we have? Well, our Well Baby Clinic has just started as well. And we've got a couple of courses under our belts, which will be coming soon, which under development at the minute. So
Fab.
Those are our main services.
Your main services. And you
doulaing
also
as well.
My favourite, beloved bump service, doula services as well. And you're a doula as well as a midwife.
I am, yes.
Okay, and what's the difference?
So the difference is traditionally doulas are non-medically trained. So it's often women who have really enjoyed their childbirth, or they really want to help and support other women, and they would then train as a doula, and they're just there as a support for mums in early labour and during the birth. Whereas a midwife like me, for example, I've taken a 3-year degree and I'm an autonomous practitioner working in a medical field. So that's kind of the main difference. But in Singapore, midwifery is a little bit different. So all 3 of us midwives who work at Beloved Bumps are also doulas as well, so that we can still continue that birth support for mums. Nice. But we don't do anything medical here.
Don't do anything medical. Okay, so there's other doulas. So your team has grown since just you?
Yes. Okay. So now we are a team of 7.
Wow.
So we have 3 midwives, and we have Annika, who's she's a postnatal doula and originally a nurse from the UK. We have Anna, who is our prenatal and postnatal exercise trainer, and then we also have Sally, who's just joined us, who's our lactation specialist.
That's fab. So you're a holistic team.
We are.
Helping the women of Singapore.
Yes, we are.
Okay. And so the next thing I wanted to ask you was, is there a huge difference between the antenatal classes back at home, whether that's Australia or UK, wherever we're from, and here? And if not, is it still worth, I have a lot of friends that had their first baby back home, but they might be having their second baby here. So would it be worth me recommending you guys to them?
Yeah, that's a good question. So as a second time mum, everything is very similar. So if you've had a vaginal birth with your first one, then second time, again, it's not really, you'll kind of, unless you want a refresher, then you can do the course again. If you're trying for something like a VBAC, where you've had a cesarean the first time and you want a vaginal birth this time, then yes, I would say it's probably worth it, because you're looking for different birth options. But the main time we get second time mums is if they've given birth in a different country, and then they come to Singapore, because the Singaporean system of giving birth is very different from back home, for example. So a lot of people come on for that, but also paying for friends.
I was about to say.
you're going to pay for those mum friends. Because everyone in the class is due at the same time as you, so you're basically just going to make friends who are having a baby the same time as you. And even though it's your second, you still want friends for that baby. So that's our main time. Most of the time our mums who are second time mums is because they've given birth somewhere else the first time.
And I can imagine that a lot of people, if they've had a baby before, you quickly forget how little a newborn baby is. So just as that refresher of, okay, this baby's a bit more delicate than my bruisey 2-year-old.
Exactly.
Changing their nappy is a bit different. I'm sure that's also a huge kind of benefit for them as well, just getting that refresher. And things change, I guess, with regards to
every child is different
practice
as well. So
and
feeding's different. You know, people who may have struggled with breastfeeding the first time may want a refresher so that they get it off to a better start with their second one. Or there's loads of reasons why.
Cool. And you go through all of that in the class, right? In different weeks.
We do. Yeah, we used to run a separate refresher course just for second time mums, but we actually found that firstly we couldn't group everyone together because there weren't enough people doing them, and also we found that actually they can just go through the whole thing again because every part of it we just relate back to what second time mums experience, and so they need all the 4 weeks anyway. The only week where they probably know a lot more is things like nappy changes and swaddling and things. But the rest of the other 3 weeks are definitely relevant. Swaddling. The mystery that is swaddling. The little Houdinis.
Oh my goodness. Do you know the best thing ever? I am a swaddle that is like this and my baby can't move. Those zippy suits. Best thing
Love
ever.
to dreams.
And so during your class, are people going to come and sit on these lovely sofas and just watch and listen, or are they going to actually get up and move and learn through doing?
They will do a bit of both. So it's obviously a PowerPoint listening, but that was again one of the things my husband was saying, I can't sit down and listen for 2.5 hours. It's for a lot of information. So every kind of, hopefully ideally every sort of 30 to 40 minutes we're doing an activity, or we're just helping you to learn in a different way. So we'll have like lots of activities which are interactive. We also think that, doing those groups together, so activities together, then connect a group more. So we've got a couple of icebreakers in there, activities, practical demonstrations, practicing swaddlings, nappy changes and things as well.
Nice. And I think it's really nice that you've got a team of obviously very experienced women in their own field, whether that's the trainers or the lactation consultants. And I suppose from that you can troubleshoot as you go along. You might have somebody that comes for your yoga class that's talking about, you've got a bit of time. I'm sure Anna has a bit of time to chit chat.
Exactly.
And people probably say, I'm really struggling with this. And then she's able to say, let me connect you with a lactation specialist.
Absolutely. And that's, that definitely happens a lot within the team. But also we have like a team of other people who don't work within Beloved Bumps that we refer to a lot. And so we've kind of got this other team out there as well. A wider connection who work for themselves, and we can refer out to them as well, definitely. But often, like once you join into Beloved Bumps, you may have already experienced this, but you become part of this community where, like Anna does free talks now to anyone who's had a baby who just needs some advice, whether they need, core workouts, or Sally is happy to, she now does free prenatal chats within the classes. So we're prepping everyone all the way through, and they know that they can contact us at any point. My phone constantly buzzes with WhatsApp messages. So it's not just the classes and that's it. We're done with you. We very much follow through. We've got people now who are having second babies from back in 2017 who are kind of contacting us again. So it's really nice.
So you're not just paying for friends.
No, you're paying for a community.
For your buck. That's
getting
awesome.
A community of people.
And that community has very much gone from a live, tangible community when COVID struck.
Yes.
Did you want to bang your head against the
I think
table?
I cried for 3 days straight. I did. I literally. The thing is as well, we shut our doors before the lockdown happened. So the announcement came out and we had a couple of women contacting us saying, are you still going ahead? Because they didn't feel comfortable coming in person anymore. So we actually shut our doors about a week or two before anyone else shut their door or the lockdown happened. So we very quickly had to adapt into a virtual setting. Yes.
And that, like a Zoom? What did that look
Zoom.
like?
All the Zoom. All the Zoom. I am done with Zoom for the rest of my life. No, it was fine. We converted everything. I literally took every interactive activity that we did in this space and converted it to an online format. Oh, wow. We had numerous people commenting on how amazing our Zoom calls were, and I'm going to brag about it because I'm really pleased with them.
I feel like you should.
I know, I was really proud.
I've heard good things about them actually.
Really? Good, yeah.
Word on the street. best Zooms
people
in
were
town.
then taking our ideas and using them within their own office environments. And I am not techie, so I was really proud. And yeah, we had everything was interactive still. We had breakout rooms. We got people connecting within breakout rooms. You know, things like we were doing things on whiteboards. We then used Zoom whiteboards. We had different apps that we used to then do quizzes and things. So yeah, we were really proud with the result. I genuinely cried because I thought no one is going to want to do this. And in April, when I think it was April or March when we shut down, God, I can't even remember.
It's all a blur. Yeah.
It was March, halfway through March, we went into virtual setting, and I thought that people would be just thinking, no, I don't want to do them anymore. But at that
they're
time,
already pregnant.
I know, yeah, exactly. Tough. No, but at that time, virtual was not the norm at that point. And so trying to convince people that they were going to get the same experience or as good an experience as we could provide back then was really hard. But by the time we were getting to the May crew, so the May antenatal course, everyone was then used to the Zoom. So they were a lot easier to kind of keep on board. But yeah, we had to adapt a lot.
Yeah. That's interesting. And
but
do you
we
think,
survived.
But you survived. And do you think moving forward, are you now completely, I know all of your services cannot be back into how they were before now, just with restrictions of numbers of people and movement of people, but your antenatal classes now, your prenatal classes are back in the classroom?
They are, but we actually have kept on the virtual element for some things.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah, so we actually, thank goodness for COVID, we actually came out with quite a few virtual things that we have now kept within the classroom. So things like practicing breathing. So we have a half an hour workshop for all of our class now, which we were doing on Zoom, and we realized that people were in their own space, they were using their own equipment, they were finding spaces within their home that they were comfortable in, and then they weren't conscious of other people watching them breathe or closing their eyes. And so now we've actually kept that element virtual. So now after the first week, we then run virtual workshops where we take them through contractions and we show them their breathing. They can practice positions in their home and they can turn their cameras off or on, and it doesn't matter, we don't care. So we've kept that kind of element in. And then we do like prenatal breastfeeding workshops as well for them, again just done virtually within small groups. So yeah, we've definitely kept, again, adapted.
The new normal.
The new normal.
The most
of
overused
virtual
saying.
and in person.
Yeah,
I know.
that's awesome.
New normal.
I wonder, and just because I have a curious mind, I wonder whether the fact that you're doing now like the breathing and things within people's homes, whether that will translate to women staying at home in labour longer. Because they're more comfortable and they're already practiced.
Maybe.
Because I do remember one thing you guys said during our prenatal class was that first-time mums tend to go to hospital quite soon after they go into labour. Whereas second-time mums tend to stay at home for a bit longer, and then they're normally more in active labour or whatever towards when they go. So I wonder whether that will have any. We'll know, won't we, in a few months' time.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll hear about everyone's birth experiences.
We'll feedback.
They're all birthing at the minute, so we'll find out.
Are they? As we speak.
As we speak.
Pop, another
literally,
one. Tash might have to run out the door to doula somebody at any stage. That must be a great adrenaline rush to know that, adrenaline rush / you have to be very organised with your life, I'm sure, to know that at any time you might have to, might get the call. Yeah, definitely, and also waking up in the morning, panic every morning, because I'm just like, have I missed a phone call? Yeah,
but I haven't missed one yet.
100% track record of attending births.
Exactly.
And in your own words, you just said, I'm not techie. So you started a business without, again, in your own words, no kind of business acumen, no marketing background, none of that. So how did you navigate that? Because for me, that's so intimidating.
I know, and if you told me, a couple of years ago that I was going to run a business, I literally would have laughed in your face. I was so, not unambitious, but I remember even before I had kids, I would just kind of be a midwife and just go to work, and that was it. I just was a midwife. And then after I had my firstborn, my first son, I remember just there was like a spark that went off in me, and I was like, oh, I just want to be a bit more ambitious, and I have no idea why. But suddenly there was a job that I really wanted, which was a senior midwife position, and I was like, again, just really lacking in confidence. I was thinking, oh, I don't have enough experience. And it was my mum friends who were then like, just go for it. Just what's the worst that could happen? And I was like, okay, yeah, I will. And I got it. And I was like, wow, gosh, I got this. And then that kind of sparked something else inside of me. And then I kind of started teaching within that role, and I started thinking, I really love teaching, actually. I really love being really passionate about a subject and teaching other people about it. And that was what my last role as a midwife was. And then when we moved here, again, I just had this thing. I was like, I really want to connect mums together. I want mums to have other mum friends. I want other people to have that same experience that I did when I was going through that first time with my son. Because, you know, messaging mums at 4 o'clock in the morning, only the other mums who have a baby the same age as you are going to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning. No one else is.
Busiest time on WhatsApp.
Exactly. And for online shopping as well. Amazon. So I don't know what happened. I basically just started researching, and then I kind of had started doing my own website with my brother, who is in sort of tech. He's an electrical engineer, I think.
Okay.
Sorry, Al.
He is.
And he is now. And he started helping me with my website back in the UK for when I ran Beloved Bumps there. So I kind of learned a little bit from him there, and then created this website. And then, I don't know, I just somehow have got to where I am today. I've literally learned on the job and started learning about marketing, reading a little bit of, you know, stuff about marketing. I still have no idea.
So all of your social media and things, that is still one-man band.
That is still one-man band. Awesome. Yes, it is very much a one-man band. I mean, there are definitely lots of clunks within the business still that I'm trying to iron out. But now, I have a team of 6 other amazing women behind me. Sorry, I completely forgot actually earlier when we were saying about all of our business people. I've completely forgotten my key person in the business, who is Brianne, who basically helps me run the business.
Talk to me about Brianne. So I know that she is your right-hand woman.
She is literally, I can't believe I forgot to mention this because she's not in my, the teaching side of things. I forgot to mention her. She is literally my right-hand woman. So I could not survive this business. Well, this business is where it is because of her as well. So I bumped into Brianne at a play date, as you do. A few months after I started running Beloved Bumps, and she just basically was helping me do bits and bobs out of the kindness of her heart.
So nice.
Oh yeah, she's amazing. And and then as the business kind of grew, then she basically then started to get more involved, and I realized I literally couldn't grow the business. That's her background, as growing businesses. So then basically she became very much the core of Beloved Bumps. So that is what Brianne does.
And this podcast is dedicated.
It is. Thanks, Brianne. So then that's when I got her help. So I eventually did have help, very much ironing out, getting a new website, a lot of the procedures that happen within the company as bookings were coming in. I was kind of then emailing each person individually, whereas now everything comes onto Google Sheets and everything automatically goes out as an email. So all of those processes were to do with her.
Right. So she's refined and streamlined Beloved Bumps.
Yeah, absolutely. I could not be doing it without her right now.
And also, I guess the rate that you've grown since 2017. You can't be a one person. You wouldn't have grown like this if you'd have been a control freak and only done everything yourself. You've had to let go a little bit and trust other people's expertise.
Probably the hardest part of running my own business is letting bits go. I think I still hold on to too much. I'm getting better.
But I think a lot of healthcare people wouldn't call themselves business people.
Absolutely.
Most healthcare people have got a lot of skills, care, empathy. We really bend over backwards for people. But running a business and knowing what to do and selling ourselves probably isn't your forte.
That's the hardest thing. So selling yourself. What?
But for other,
I remember someone saying to me, "Oh, can you give us your elevator pitch for the business?" I was like, "Sorry, the what now?" The elevator pitch. It's literally if you go into an elevator, how you would sell your business. I was like, "All right, let me get back to you on that one."
Google's elevator pitch.
What the hell is an elevator pitch? What's your USP? Sorry, my what now? I thought that was a postage company actually. It's not.
Awesome. But now you know.
Now I know. So definitely more switched on now.
And we can see that we are at Beloved Bumps headquarters.
We are.
And this isn't where you've always been. So when did you move in here?
So we moved into this space in January, just before COVID hit.
Oh, thank goodness that you got it done.
Goodness, and also felt really sad when we had to leave it empty for a good few months. Previous to this, we were on Southbridge Road. That was literally for a year we were there, and then previous to that I was literally renting out spaces and co-working spaces. So we've kind of moved around a lot, but here I think we'll stay for the foreseeable future.
It's a very nice big open space. It looks like there's a lot of space to do stuff.
Activities
and new stuff. Is there what's next for Beloved Bumps? Anything you can
Definitely a few more courses coming our way. We're definitely aiming, well, we've got a couple more things for the dads. We've got another course coming for mums. For some people will know about that because we've been questionnaring everyone within our WhatsApp groups. But yeah, so that's kind of the foreseeable future. I think eventually we'll probably need a bigger space when everything gets back to normal in terms of restrictions lifting and things like that. But yeah, I think where we are right now, we're just coming back from COVID, I think. So just getting back into running classes, finding out what we can do with the restrictions in place. Once those have been lifted, getting coffee mornings and things back up and running. Yay. And then we'll look for what's next.
Do you think that you would always have to be based in Singapore now that you can do virtual? Could somebody in the UK do your virtual classes?
Technically, yes. So we've stopped the virtual classes for now, but definitely when we were in COVID, we had a couple of people from Hong Kong and Thailand who were interested in kind of signing up, and so they were actually not in Singapore. And it did I did think actually this could be another side thing for Beloved Bumps where we do run virtual classes. Right now we haven't done it only because still I'm trying to get back to that connecting mums, and being connected on Zoom is still not the same as connecting mums and people in person. So we're very much focusing on that right now. Like we've got our April group for example at the minute, they were fully virtual, so they never met each other during their pregnancy, and so now we're kind of doing like reunions and classes for them as a group just to connect them more, and then we'll work on May, and then we'll get back into connecting other people.
And then the other thing I really am excited to talk about is what is next for Tash.
Oh goodness.
Could you tell us a little bit about Female Founder?
Yes. So it was a bit of a whim of an idea recently, and I realised how many, I think probably seeing things like your Power Mums and seeing a couple of other mums kind of really promoting themselves and their businesses at the moment, and I just realised how many mums in Singapore, or just women in Singapore, are founding and running really successful businesses, and also kind of just seeing mums going back to work. That's kind of a theme at the minute for me, from our courses, going back into a workplace and actually realizing how many of them don't necessarily want to be there, and they have these amazing ideas of businesses that they would run, and I really see myself in those mums, and I just feel like saying to them, like grabbing them, being like, just do it, like do it. Singapore is a place, if you're going to do it, it's a small country, it's a great place to start a business. It's one of the startups like capitals of Asia or something, I believe. So I'm just like, just do this. So I thought, if I can just give people the confidence to know that you don't have to have a business background, you can come from literally a healthcare background like me and have an idea and just really believe in yourself and have that hunger and that passion to do it, that maybe someone might be inspired by this new Instagram account I have. So,
I think so.
And also I have realized that from running the business that I love looking at other female founders and other business owners, like quotes, and sort of really, sometimes I read, there's an Instagram account I follow, and they just have really just amazing quotes. I just think sometimes just really inspiring, and I just read it and I'm like, okay, and then that day I'll come out with a whole new course because I'm like, that quote inspired me today. And there's a woman in the UK, she's called Holly & Co. She's probably one of my biggest inspirations, and she started Not on the High Street in the UK.
Oh, I've heard of Not on the High Street.
Everyone has.
And
she now has her own side thing called Holly & Co, and she works with startups to grow them, and she's a female founder. And so again, just looking at all these amazing, inspiring people, I was like, actually, if I can just set up something where people can just follow my journey as a business owner who has no business experience, maybe someone might be inspired to do the same.
Yeah, definitely. So, and I don't know about you, but I find that a lot of women that do start these businesses have wanted to do it for quite some time. But then it just takes something to push
in them.
Do you, what is it? Do you find that becoming a mother is sometimes that push for people? Like for you?
For me, it was, and I do think it is. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the people I know who have started their own business have literally been thinking, I don't want to be working a 9-to-5 job anymore. I do want to be around for my kid. So if I own my own thing, then actually I can be around when I want to be around for them. Which at the beginning doesn't really work, because it literally is a third child for me.
Hustle.
And it's literally you live, you breathe, you dream, you think your business. But when it gets off the ground and it runs, then actually now I kind of plan my day around my kids a lot more. I'll try to block out the mornings for work. I'll be there for the afternoon for the kids. I'll be there in the evenings. I go and teach. So you can start to work it around your kids. And that for me is what I want to be able to do. So yeah, I think definitely becoming a mother makes you inspired to run your own business.
Definitely. I love it. Midwife, no business acumen.
Yeah.
Starts a business in 2017 and look where we are.
And here we are in 2020 in COVID.
That's why she's a power mum.
Yes.
That's awesome. I think female founder is like, I know it's new.
It is very, very new.
And I'm sure you're just kind of figuring out your path.
Yeah.
But
well, I might be interviewing you soon.
Yeah.
I'm going to start like looking for some female founders for, yes, exactly. You can be first.
Thanks. Did you hear that?
And any other female founders, I'm coming for you.
Yeah. No, that's your opportunity.
Yeah,
Everyone
exactly.
get in touch. And
yeah.
it's female
if you're a female founder,
SG.
yeah, please come my way.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. It's been awesome.
It has.
I
It has been
look forward
great.
to speaking to you soon and hearing way more about Beloved Bumps and female founder.
Yeah.